Okay, we're back for our daily NBA predictions and best bets here for the NBA playoffs. Today is Wednesday, April 23rd, and there are 3 games in the NBA today. The 2 blowout series, likely Magic, Celtics, Heat, Cavaliers. Those 2 are playing today, and the big one, obviously, tonight, the main event in Houston, Texas, Warriors, Rockets. It feels like a must-win for Houston. That's the game we'll get into the most at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But I mean, this is kind of it for Houston. If they can't win tonight against the Warriors, this series is over. I'm just going to be honest. I don't want to compare everything to the Lakers real quickly. I will. The Lakers, again, if they somehow were to lose last night, you can still kind of think, okay, Luka and LeBron can go to Minnesota and potentially steal a game or 2 there. I don't think Houston's going to Golden State and winning multiple games. 1 game, yes. And again, we'll break this all down later. But if they lose tonight, the series is over. They're probably going to get swept. Okay? That's a huge game tonight in Houston. We're going to get to all that and more. But folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA best bets here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted our MLB best bets here on the channel. Make sure to check that out. Link in the description down below. And also on Greedo Plays MMA, our UFC Fight Night Kansas City predictions. Ian Machado Gary versus Carlos Prates in the main event in the welterweight division. And before we get into things, guys, I saw this yesterday. The NBA players voted Tyrese Halliburton as the league's most overrated player. He had 14.5% of the vote over Rudy Gobert, Trae Young, Jimmy Butler, Bradley Beal, Draymond Green, John Morant, Julius Randle. How is this guy the most overrated player in the league? He only took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. He's a multi-time All-Star. He's an Olympic gold medalist. And, I mean, if you need any more, Tyrese Halliburton has 14 games in his career with 20 plus points, 10 plus assists, and 0 turnovers. The guy who has 13, the second most of those, is Chris Paul. I've been saying it, Tyrese Halliburton is the next Chris Paul. He's the new point god. I think the disrespect is insane for Halliburton. He's one of the best players in the NBA, and it's ridiculous the hate this man gets. It's for what? Why? I don't understand. It's insane. I just want to put that out there. A lot of people, I saw the comments. A lot of y'all didn't agree with the Pacers pick yesterday. I'm serious about this team beating the Cavaliers, by the way. Just you wait. I'm serious about it. If Cleveland can get there. I'm joking. They're going to get the Heat. Anyways, on to our first of 3 games today. We start things off here in the Boston Garden for the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic. We're taking Boston here, and we're taking them to cover the 10.5 points as well. I know Jason Tatum's likely not playing. I think officially he's doubtful as of now. Yes, doubtful with that wrist injury. Tatum doesn't need to play the rest of the series. He just doesn't. He doesn't need to play the rest of the series. Will he? Probably. I'd expect him to be back in Orlando. Maybe, if not game 3, he'll be back for game 4. For being honest, the Magic, I think at most can win 1 game in this series. I think the Magic played a good first half against Boston, but even then, Boston was still in control, you felt like. Orlando was leading at the end of the first half by, 1 point? Anyways, Boston comes back and storms back and dominates that second half. Derek White, what a game he had in game number 1 for Boston. This guy goes 7 for 12 from beyond the arc, 10 for 18 from the field. Tatum didn't have a great game, but that's fine. Derek White's great. Peyton Pritchard is just their designated 3-point guy off the bench, and he's been excellent, right? 4 for 6 in game 1 against Orlando, 6 for 8 from the field. Jaylen Brown, obviously, this is a great lineup. I'm not going to deny that. Boston is one of the best teams in the NBA. I don't think they're the best team in the NBA, but they've got to be the favorites to win the Eastern Conference. You take Jason Tatum out the equation, sure. You really limit this rotation. You limit a rotation that's really a seven-man rotation as of, with this fully healthy Boston team. It's Tatum, Porzingis, Drew, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and then Horford and Pritchard. And that's why it's very important, by the way, that Porzingis stays healthy, because if he doesn't, then Luke Kornet's going to be playing big minutes in the playoffs, which I think that's not going to go very well for Boston. Regardless, though, no Tatum means, okay, likely they just start Horford too, I think. Can you start Horford against this Orlando team? Probably not. Because, no, you don't want him guarding Wagner or Banchero. They'll probably just play small and start Pritchard, I would think. Then you're really small. I don't know. They'll probably just start Horford. That's fine. They're going to beat Orlando regardless. But I do question now what they're going to do off the bench. I think I would assume Cornette's just going to play more minutes off the bench because I don't think Mazzulla just goes straight to a 6-man rotation. Maybe he does. I don't know. But that's something to think about. This is the game I feel the best about today in terms of, out of this in Cleveland. I think this is a straight blowout. I just don't think the Magic have much for them. Guys, you look at that game one, right? Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero combined for 59 points in that game. The Magic scored 86 as a whole. Banchero had 36. We know how good that guy is. Franz Wagner had 23. I'll just say the Cole Anthony and Anthony Black play-in game against the Hawks, kind of a fluke. Now, they didn't really even play those guys that much in the Boston game, as Orlando really just went to their starters plus Jonathan Isaac, which is fine. I think Jonathan Isaac is an elite big in this league. I think he's an elite, defender in this league. Corey Joseph's a non-scoring threat. Obviously, he's out there to facilitate and just kind of be a defender. They have two guys who can hurt you. It's Banchero and Wagner. And sure, where the Magic can get a little bit dangerous, obviously, is with their defense, but also with their perimeter shooting, right? Like the play-in game against Atlanta, Cole Anthony and Anthony Black hitting those threes in big spots, sure. But in that starting lineup, KCP's not really a threat anymore. He came to Orlando, and he's just not the same. Corey Joseph's not going to put shots up. That's just not what he does. And Wendell is not a scoring threat at all, especially with Porzingis on him. So, Banchero and Wagner, again, those guys combined took 50 shots in game one. They still lost by 17. They combined for 59 points. Tatum's out, sure, but guys, this Boston team's so loaded. Hell, look at the way Derek White played in game one. Jaylen Brown didn't even have a big night. Boston's going to be fine. I think, yes, if Tatum's out for game 3, I think there's a chance Orlando can get it. But even then, I'd kind of be surprised at this point if this is not a straight sweep for Boston. They look like the best team in the Eastern Conference, and I don't think anybody's really debating that right now. Yeah, they started off slow in that first half, but like expected, Boston bounced back, and they looked great in the second half and dominated. So I'm taking the Boston Celtics to win this game number 2 here at the TD Garden, and I expect them to cover this line here against Orlando as well. Minus 10.5, minus 650 on the money line if you're going to take that. I don't know, but I think minus 10.5 is fine with Boston. Again, I think you see a competitive defensive first half. Celtics pull away offensively with the shooting in the second. So give me Boston. There are games where they're going to lose in this playoffs, don't get me wrong, because there are going to be games where Boston just goes ice cold from beyond the arc, and that kind of takes away everything they got going for them. I don't think that's one of these games tonight, though, especially at home. That will happen eventually, and that's going to happen for them on the road. I'm going to say this right now. This will happen to Boston game 3 of the semifinal round. Regardless of if it's the Pistons and the Knicks, right now I'm kind of leaning Detroit, not going to lie. That's the game they're going to go ice cold from beyond the arc, and then it's going to be like, all right, maybe we found the solution to Boston, and they end up winning that series in 5 games, right? I don't think it's going to come in this series, though. I still see a clean sweep, for the Celtics over the Magic. Game 2 today. The second game 2. Miami Heat, Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm taking, again, Heat spread Cleveland money line. I think Miami's closer this time. I think they were competitive in that game until it wasn't, right? First half, I know they were down 8 points at half, but Miami was kind of keeping up, and in the third quarter, they were keeping up as well. Guys, this is an 8-point game going into the fourth quarter. That's a big Miami run away, a big, Tyler Hero outburst away from, all right, we're looking at a 2-possession, well, hell, they got it to a 2-possession game early, or in the third quarter. Miami's got the potential, man. They do. And I've always kind of looked at Cleveland like, yeah, they're good, but is this a team that's going to continue to shoot this hot in the postseason and continue to be that team in the playoffs? And again, this is not going to be the team that we're going to know that yet. They're playing a team that was 8 games under 500 in the Miami Heat. The series where Cleveland will be tested is next round against the Indiana Pacers after the Pacers beat the Bucks in 5 games. Anyways, though, we'll get to that in a couple weeks. Cleveland, Miami tonight, I think is competitive. I think it is. I look at that game 1. Bam Adebayo had a good night. Tyler Hero was really just mid. He was. Hero goes 7 for 18 from the field, 3 for 6 from beyond the arc. That's the worst game Tyler Hero has played so far in this postseason, including the play-in games, obviously, against Chicago and Atlanta. It's the worst game he's played. Andrew Wiggins I'll be honest, has not been a difference maker so far. Bam Adebayo had a good game, but couldn't hit a 3-pointer, which, if Adebayo can get that shot falling, it's a big game changer as well. you look at a guy like Duncan Robinson off the bench who comes in and hits a couple 3-pointers, right? Davion Mitchell, an integral part of this team at this point. He's playing the big-time minutes over Alec Burks. Yes, Burks is starting, but Davion Mitchell truly is that fifth clutch-time player for them that's going to be on the court in the fourth quarter. Davion Mitchell played 34 minutes in that game, went 8 for 12 from the field, went 2 for 3 from the three-point line, 18 points. Yeah, Davion Mitchell needs to continue to do that for this team. He needs to continue to show that type of performance. And I think he's going to. I really think so. I mean, I'm kind of all in on Mitchell now. The thing with Cleveland is, guys, I think they played a good game against Miami. But when you look at it, it's like, I'm not going to deny they played a good game, because I think they did. But they played a really good game against the Heat. They got 28 points off of Ty Jerome off the bench. And they were really competitive through 3 quarters. I don't know. That's just kind of what scares me about this team. And I get it, Miami, like really good in the play-in. They're scoring really effectively. Hero, Adebayo, Mitchell have been really stepping up. I get that. But it's like, if the Heat, who, yeah, they're playing well now, but this is still a 37-45 team. If they're giving you this much trouble, what is Indiana going to be? What is Boston going to be? Hell, what is Detroit going to be? New York, guys, I am so down on the Knicks right now. I'm not gonna lie. I think the Pistons are winning that series in 6 games as of right now. We'll see. We're getting that. I think that game's tomorrow. I think game 3. Yes, we'll get to game 3 for that series tomorrow. That will be something. But anyways, yeah, I do worry about Cleveland a little bit. Yeah, they're a really good regular season team. I don't know if they're gonna see success against the other elite squads in the conference. Ty Jerome, I get it, is one of the best bench players in the league. He is, right? I mean, in terms of what he produces, he could start for a lot of teams in this league. He's going to get a big payday in the offseason. And sure, he had 28 points in that win in game 1 over Miami. Okay. Is Ty Jerome going to continue to do that, though? He had a great third and fourth quarter. He goes 5 for 8 from the three-point line, 10 for 15 from the field. He did all of that. Donovan Mitchell had 30 points. Garland had 27. And yet they were still tight through 3 quarters. I don't know. Again, I think they win this game, but I think Miami plays it a lot closer. I think, again, Cleveland played a good game, but it just wasn't really enough to completely blow the Heat out. Yes, you look at the final score, and it's, again, a 21-point margin, but that's a result of the final 6 minutes. Miami the game was a lot closer than it looks. And I get it, Strus didn't shoot the ball as much as he usually does. I don't know, man. Mitchell didn't have a good game. He scored 30 points, but he went 2 for 9 from beyond the arc. He got to the free throw line a lot. Sure, that's what star players are going to do. They're going to get their points. They're going to score. I don't know. I think Miami, what they're doing, dealing with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen for a lot of teams is going to be difficult, obviously, right? The 2 twin towers underneath, the 2 bigs. Miami, I don't think they do it as effectively. Obviously, they don't, as Cleveland does, but they have Khalil Ware and Bam Adebayo starting. And, Ware is huge. Adebayo, a all-star as well. An Olympic gold medalist at this point now. They've got guys. I don't know. I think Miami's going to continue to remain really competitive in this series. Don't get me wrong. I think Cleveland wins it in 5. I think max 6. But I think it's a 5-game gentleman sweep for the Cavaliers. I just think it's going to be a competitive 5 games. And I think today is just going to be like the first game. Rather than this time, I think Miami does play a competitive fourth quarter, that the Cavaliers will just hit their big shots at the end of the game and pull away from Miami. So our best bet for this game is Miami on the spread. It's plus 11.5. Last game was 12.5. The Heat are losing a point tonight. I'm okay with that. I think they get it done. Give me Heat plus 11.5 here on the road in Cleveland, Ohio against the Cleveland Cavaliers. We go on to our final game of the night, and the stakes in this game could not be any higher, right? I mean, Rockets fans have had their, fair share of things to say on Twitter and on the internet since that game 1 in Houston. It's a little extreme, but it's fine. This game's absolutely huge. I mean, I cannot tell you how big this game is. Going back to my point quickly earlier in the video, in the intro, right? I compare this to the Lakers series, right? Like how I said, Luka and LeBron, even if they lost tonight or yesterday, it would have been bad. The Timberwolves probably would have won the series, but you can kind of think, okay, there is still a chance the Lakers, they at the very least win 1 in Minnesota, then okay, it's a 3-1, but we've seen LeBron do that before. Or maybe there's a chance they win both in Minnesota. Okay. No one's going to believe, and I don't even know if the Rockets are going to believe, if they lose this game, they can seriously go to Golden State and win 2 games. I know what you're thinking. Oh, they just win 1, the series continues. That's fine. the Rockets are not coming back from down 3-1 against the Warriors, right? So basically, if the Rockets lose tonight, they got to go to San Francisco and win 2 games. It's not happening. It's just not happening. They're not winning both over there. And even if they win this game, which I am actually predicting them to do, I think Houston's going to win tonight. I don't believe they're going to win both games in Golden State. I think they're going to win one. The way I see the series right now, I think we go back to Houston for game 5, and it's a 3-game series. It's 2-2. And then the real thing starts. I think that's how competitive this series can be. But Houston has to make it competitive tonight. Because again, if they lose, it's over. That 13-point quarter that they had in the second quarter against Golden State in game 1 can't happen again. Cannot happen again. It's pitiful, you know? The shooting night out of some of these guys. Fred VanVleet, 2 for 13 from the 3-point line. I get it. Hit a big fourth quarter 3 to cut the lead to, I believe, 2 at one point. And Houston got right back in it in multiple points in that fourth quarter. Yes, the Warriors won by 10. They pulled away at the end. Houston was very close in the fourth quarter. They have to play the entire game like they did the first half of the fourth quarter and the second half of the third quarter. That's how Houston has to play every single minute of this series. Pressure defensively. Get in Steph Curry's face. Force the Warriors to throw up stupid shots. Force them to turn the ball over. That's what Houston needs to do. And guys, I didn't think this was going to be a story of this series. Steven Adams needs to continue to play big minutes for this team. He changes the game from an offensive rebounding perspective. 5 of those offensive boards in just 20 minutes in game number 1. But Houston, I mean, the simplest thing is they need a better shooting night. I've been saying this all year long, and this is why for the first half of the season, I faded the Rockets, and I said they weren't a serious threat. I have since taken back that statement. Do I think they're going to win the West? No. But I do, respect them as an elite team in the Western Conference, right? Like I wasn't at the beginning of the year. But I've been saying this all year long, and this is why I stayed away from Houston for so long. Jalen Green is the definition of a volume shooter. He just is. Some nights, Jalen Green will look like the top pick and potential star that he is. Some nights, he's going to look like the worst player on the court at all times. Guy goes 3 for 15 in game 1, 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. He scores 7 points. That's not going to cut it. You're supposed to be this team's best player. I understand Şengün's here. Jalen Green, though, dude, you are the guy here. You just are. Şengün is like, again, Jokic, nerfed. But still, like, Jalen Green is supposed to be the guy in Houston, and scoring 7 points and going 3 for 15 from the field is just not going to cut it. It's just not. And then I look at Fred VanVleet, goes 2 for 13 from the field. I look at Dylan Brooks, who didn't really shoot the ball that well. I look at Amen Thompson, who, yes, finished the game 4 for 9. Started the game, 2 for 7, if I'm not mistaken. 1 for 6, maybe. Tari Eason off the bench, one of the few guys that gets bench minutes for the Rockets. You can't go 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. You can't shoot 3 for 10 from the field. That's just not going to cut it. Steph Curry, guys, hates the city of Houston. I'm convinced. The shots that guy hits. I mean, and despite what happens with the officiating in Golden State Warriors games, I'm not going to not mention it. The Warriors do get the benefit of the doubt with a lot of their calls. I'm just going to be honest. That big Steph Curry 3 in the fourth quarter that he hit off the inbound, that should have been Rockets basketball. It was off of Draymond Green. I think it was Draymond. It might have been Jimmy. I think it was Draymond. Gave the ball to the Warriors. Curry sinks a big 3. Kind of puts the Rockets out of the game. Right? That's the difference from it being a 4-point game. Rockets get the ball back, trying to cut it to 2 or 1. And then, Curry hits a almost logo 3 to make the lead 7 with 3 minutes to go. Changes the trajectory of the basketball game, right? So I'm not going to try to tell you that the Warriors do not get favorable calls. They do 100%. And the NBA knows what's next up. Warriors win Lakers when you get Warriors-Lakers for the chance to play the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. Then you get to a point where it's like, all right, if the NBA gets what they want, Thunder on one side of the bracket, Lakers-Warriors on the other side of the bracket, as long as it's not Clippers and Warriors that get out of that, you are destined to get a money-making series. Just are. OKC versus either Warriors-Lakers. You get Curry or LeBron versus the MVP. or you get Battle of LA finally, right? So the NBA knows what they want. Just got to be honest with ourselves here, guys. Are they going to let the Rockets win the series? Probably not. But again, in this one specific game, yes, we can still take Houston. I mean, I think, again, in big-time spots, yes, maybe the officiating will go the Warriors' way. The NBA does need to string out this series at the same time. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to get into conspiracies or whatnot, but I do think it is something to bring up because of the calls that the Warriors were getting in that game one. And that they have traditionally, historically, have always gotten, right? Houston has always gotten the short end of the stick against Golden State officiating-wise. Anyways, though, Curry hates the city of Houston. He's going to continue to hit his big shots. Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy's not a myth. It's real, I understand. Podziemski's been doing a decent job as well. That's fine. I just think, though, the thing is, the Rockets didn't even play Curry that badly. He just hit some crazy shots. It's a bunch of shots that I don't think that are going to continue to fall in game two. Don't get me wrong. I think the Warriors are probably still favorites to win this series. I still think we go back to Houston game 5, 2-2. And then it's a 3-game set where ultimately right now I think the Warriors probably win that in 7. I'm just going to be honest. I think if I had to detail this entire series, I go, so Warriors win game 1, Rockets tonight. I go game 3, I go Houston. I go game 4, Golden State. Game 5, Houston at 6-7, Golden State. That's how I'd predict it right now. Again, things can change. But I don't think the Warriors are going to see those same shots fall like they did in game 1. And the Rockets play better defensively. And again, you got to look at this from a, Ime Udoka standpoint, from the Rockets standpoint is, okay, if we don't win this game, our season's over. You cannot go on the road down 2-0 to this basketball team. Considering the historical standpoint of Rockets Warriors, you just can't do that. I'm taking the Houston Rockets to come through tonight. I don't think Jalen Green continues to shoot the ball that poorly. Same with Fred VanVleet. I think they have a better night. Keep Amen Thompson on Steph Curry. Force Curry to have another game like that. I don't think it's going to happen. No, by the way, I think Amen Thompson is going to be better offensively as well. I just don't think the Rockets can play all that poorly. And even when they did play all that poorly in game 1, they still cut the lead to 2-0 at one point. I think they're going to be okay in this game too. Now, once we get back to San Francisco, a different story. But for now, yes, I'm taking the Houston Rockets in game number 2 to beat the Golden State Warriors and cover the 3.5 points as well. So folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA best bets and predictions here for April 23rd. If you have not yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.